welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 100% live, 100% free 1650 PWAM. That's right, 1650 Pro Wrestling and more. Great Balls of Fire, WWE Great Balls of Fire post-game show. Love to know what you guys think about this show. Go ahead and tweet us using the hashtag 1650 PWAM. Or you can jump into the chat room here live on YouTube, and we will read your chats. We'll get to your questions tonight. Man, what a pay-per-view. What a pay-per-view. Let me see here. Wrong group here. I think Rick is going to join in with us here. Let's see. Man, what a pay-per-view. That was a damn good pay-per-view, actually. It's one of the best pay-per-views I think they've done in a long time.
You caught me off guard.
I caught you off guard.
Yeah. Are you on?
Yeah, we're on. We're on live right here.
Sorry for your loss. Hold on. Let me get my headphones. Call me back. Can I call you back? Let me call you back.
All right.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to put on my headphones. So.
AC, you on?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Hey, I was trying to call you, but I kept getting cut off.
Rick was trying to call the same time you were.
So we're knocking each other out of there.
Yeah, pretty much. Man, good pay-per-view tonight, I thought.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, obviously some things we kind of hit the nail on the head on, but overall, I'm not gonna lie, I found the show entertaining. I didn't think there was a noticeably bad match, bad spot on the show.
Neither did I. I thought the flow was great. I think Rick is going to join us here. It says it's busy. Let's try to call him back here. Rick, if you can, call back. I didn't think there was a bad match on the show at all.
I got to be honest. This is one of the better pay-per-views they've had in a while. I got to admit it.
I mean, for a pay-per-view that had a horribly bad name, and we just kept getting reminded of that bad name over and over and over. Twitter
honestly, maybe that was the gimmick.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get Rick back on here. Hold on.
Honestly, I thought the worst match was Bray and Rollins.
Yeah, I honestly did. Rick, are you with us?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why doing my headphones?
That's all right. Me and AC are here. Overall thoughts on this pay-per-view. Me and AC thought it was damn good. What did you think, Rick?
It was okay. I'm going with okay. I think well, hold on. I'm just going to turn off some things to make.
Yeah, please do, because you sound like you're very far away from us here.
Yeah, I was trying to hook up my headphones, but you didn't give me enough time to finish.
Well, then...
Stop running. He's running away from his mic.
Exactly. That's because I'm trying to hook up my headphones. So, can you hear me now?
Much better. Okay, so we started off with Neville defeating Tozawa. We all thought this was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. I thought for a pre-show match, they gave him 11 minutes on the pre-show, which is pretty long for a pre-show match. I thought this was very good. AC, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much one of the better pre-show matches you'll see. Keeping with the Titus theme, I thought they stuck with that, which was cool. And I thought the right guy won. I mean, we both picked Neville. We both thought Neville should win. We thought he would win, and he did. And I mean, I thought it was a nice lead into the pay-per-view. It was nothing extravagant, but it was good. It was good.
Rick, what were your thoughts on this pre-show match with Neville and Tozawa?
Well, I will apologize.
You didn't see it.
I make it a habit of not watching the pre-shows because the yammering usually makes me fall asleep.
I can't blame you.
So,
Can I make a comment? The Peter Rosenberg, I'm sure we all know who he is now.
Did Cass kick him yet?
No, White, do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's Hot 97, right? In New York.
Yeah, and he's also like the third wheel on the Michael Kay show on ESPN Radio.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and he is fucking terrible.
He is terrible, man.
Oh,
I was begging for Sam Roberts tonight. That's how terrible he was.
when the show went off the air, and he just says things that are just ridiculous. It's so, oh, what the hell did he say? It'll come to me in a minute here, but he said something when the show went off the air. When I was listening to him, and I'm like, did this guy watch the WWE before they hired him?
Probably not. Probably not.
No. Like Jim Ross with pictures.
Well, you know who one of the co-hosts on the Michael K show is.
Michael K.
It's well him, but also Don LaGreca, which is the LaGreca on the Busted Open's brother.
Oh, jeez.
Whatever.
So I'm sure he had some kind of in with that or whatever.
Put my brother on the radio.
I'll be honest, Busted Open. I'll turn it on if I happen to be in the car while it's on. I'll turn it on.
I don't listen to it either.
And it's just really gone downhill. They've added Bully Ray as a co-host, so it's nothing more than a Bully Ray love fest whenever he's on.
Speaking of Bully Ray, TK tweeted a photo of probably like a 65, 7-year-old fat man with a Bully Ray t-shirt on. It was like Bully Ray showed up in Niels, Ohio for Wrestling Under the Stars. I thought it was pretty funny.
He's going to be, not TK, but your boy Flip Gordon is actually going to be heading down to Wrestle Circus here.
Yes.
So and they're going to be streaming it live on Twitch on the 22nd, so I might actually have to check that out. But
He's making a name for himself.
You could stream stuff on Twitch. It's not video games.
Apparently, that's what I said. But apparently,
it's like a new thing. Apparently,
yeah. Apparently, Wrestle Circus has negotiated an exclusive deal with Twitch, to where they are allowed to stream their events on Twitch. They're partnered, and they get money for it. So, kudos to them. But we opened up the actual pay-per-view with Bray Wyatt defeating Seth Rollins in a singles match. Went 12 minutes. I thought it was very. This right here was the only match that I think that really just did not settle with me, and I'm glad it was the opening match. I think we even said that it was probably maybe the opening match on the show. The right man went over. The match itself was just typical. It's nothing that we haven't seen from these two before. AC, what were your thoughts on this one?
I'll be honest. Watching that match, I was into my WWE boredom, and I was like, "Here we go." I was in my here we go again mode, and I mean, Bray winning did something for me. They kind of protected Rollins a little bit in the way he won, but Bray still won. And I mean, the right guy probably won, but I don't think the match was anything to write home about.
Rick, your thoughts on this one?
It was kind of a repeat of the match they've had before. It just seems like it's been done before.
Yeah,
I know they made a point of saying, "Oh, it's only their second match ever," but it just seems like a lot of the matches that they have, like Miz and Ambrose, a lot of them are like matches that they've had like a lot before.
Yeah,
they don't really change it too much what they're doing.
Even though this is maybe the second time these guys have ever really faced one-on-one, the bantering back and forth that they do on Raw every week makes it feel like they faced each other before.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys feel like, I kind of feel this way, but I kind of feel like face Rollins is kind of blah. Like I almost want heel Rollins back.
A lot of people are saying that, and I've said it time and time again. They screwed up face Rollins when they didn't. They turned him babyface way too late. They should have turned him months before they did, when they had that 24 special come out on him. When he first came back from that injury, he should have been babyface right then and there. The crowd wanted him to be in a babyface, and WWE screwed the pooch on it. So where what was that, Rick?
I said everybody's a heel.
Yeah.
Or a face.
Yeah.
Just depends which one's right and which one's wrong. If it's the wrong one, then that's what you're going to be. So if you're Roman Reigns, you're going to be a face. If you're Seth Rollins, you're going to be a face.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty much. You're right. Enzo and Cass were up next. These guys only went about 5.5 minutes here, and Big Cass beat them. The big disappointment is my son is sitting here watching it with me. My 7-year-old son. He's about to turn 8 here in a few days, about 10 days away. And he loves WWE. He loves wrestling in general. He goes, he was smart enough to know when Enzo came out and was in the middle of doing his long-winded fucking promo, which we'll get to in a minute. He's smart enough to look at me and go, "Dad, what do you think Cass's new music is going to sound like?" Like, that's how smartened up he is. And he knows that wrestling is a quote unquote work, but he still watches it and believes it's real. Like, you should have seen him during the Braun Strowman Roman Reigns thing. He was marking out like a son of a bitch for it. And was like, when the bit with the ambulance hitting the trailer happened, he was like, oh my God, he was jaw dropped. But he's smart enough to know, I mean, and WWE has to realize that this is your typical kid that you're trying to go against. You know, the 7-year-old fans that you're marketing towards know that the jig is up, so to speak, when they can call the fact that Cass is going to have new music.
Well, they booked the 8-year-olds from 1999, and I mean, I think kids these days are probably a little bit smarter, and obviously the fans are. So
I mean, 8-year-old
no
kids,
surprise there.
8-year-old kids today have access full on to the internet. We didn't.
Right.
Wait.
And they know how to utilize it.
Yeah.
Too.
You guys, I don't want to derail us, but if you do a little demographic research of the WWE, the actual fans
is like 50-something years old. Yeah.
It's all the Attitude Era guys that are holding on.
So they got to figure it out. Is like, if that's what your fan base is, and it keeps shrinking because you're doing this kiddie crap, you're going to end up like baseball where nobody watches, and eventually.
Well, I've been saying for a month now, over a month now, and Edwards and AC keep telling me I'm wrong, that they need to be marketing toward the smart marks, because those are the ones that are. It's not the kids, the 7-year-old kids that are leaving.
They're there anyway. I agree with you, but I don't think they will, just because they're there anyway.
No, they're not, man. 1 million of them left after Mania.
I think that's more casual than smart mark, brother.
I don't. I think the smart mark fans, like myself, are marking out over New Japan more than WWE most weeks.
Yeah, but you're still watching, Joe. Boy, I'm still watching. I hate it, and I still watch. I don't know why, but I do.
You're watching out of habit.
1.5 million people who pay $10 a month, allegedly, for their network, and they got like under 3 million watching their show.
That network doesn't mean shit. Those numbers don't mean shit.
Hey, listen, to me, when my $8.94 came out for New Japan World, I felt better about it than the $9.99 I spent on the network.
to me, and I'm sure Jeff Edwards' buddy Vince Russo would agree to me. Ratings tell the tale, not network subscriptions.
You're friends with Russo now?
No, Jeff Edwards just likes.
Did you see the X-Pac tweet?
No, I didn't.
The money tweet? Oh.
Yeah, well, it was basically some guy tweeted the X-Pac, 1999, 8 million viewers, 2017, 2.5 million viewers, and X-Pac tweeted the revenue back at him, and the increase. Actually, X-Pac kind of made everyone's point, because the increase that he portrayed isn't great. So I actually looked up the NFL, the increase with the NFL from 99 to 2017, and it's like from like a shade under $1 billion to like 14 billion. And the WWE was like 350 million, and it's like 750 million now. Yeah. And I mean, you're talking about 19 years. I mean, 18 years. The increase isn't great in that time period. I mean, it's probably because of all the reasons we're talking about.
They're just making money hand over fist, and they don't really give a damn what we have to say.
They don't give a damn.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but the percentage increase isn't great either.
And you know what, though?
Like, you would think it'd be more.
I don't see how they're not waking up to this, because you saw SmackDown pictures 2 weeks ago, and the camera side was completely empty. The camera side of that building was completely empty. So but maybe it evens out when
they were in Paducah.
Well, not only that, the half of the building that does show up, if they're spending $50 a head on merchandise, it evens out probably in their eyes.
Joe, it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier on the pre-show with, fans wanting to spend money in the South and not, maybe looking at ticket prices and saying they want to pay them, and people in the Northeast do it and they get 20,000 at a fucking house show at MSG. It's probably the same scenario.
It was 12,000, but
I know what you're saying.
Anyway, Big Cass and Enzo, I enjoyed the match. It told a story. It was short and sweet. Enzo got his ass kicked after a very long-winded and unneeded promo. After this, halfway through this promo, I think I even tweeted out, please, can Big Cass just come out here and shut him up? and they did.
That's kind of what they were going for.
Big Cass's theme music sounds like a generic. It sounds like what the Giant would have used in 1996 WCW, and the CFO Dollars people who do all their theme songs now tweet out going, "New Big Cass theme. Hope you enjoy it." And I so wanted to tweet back, "No, we don't enjoy it. It sounds so generic. It sounds hokey. It just sounds all wrong for him."
Sounds like NXT to me.
Yeah, I mean, NXT has better themes than that. Glorious.
Well,
so-
where there was no, when he put his hands up, I was waiting for pyros, some kind of
Nothing.
explosion or something, and it was just run of the mill.
Right when he raised his arm, and nothing happened. What the hell?
Well, I know. Weren't you waiting for something like a bang or a pyro? He raised his arm, and they just they locked the camera in on him, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, at least if he was in NXT and they were doing this bit, he'd have a smoke, like a puff of smoke behind him or something.
I think Enzo's going to be the bigger star, though.
No, he'd have a bunch of fools in Full Sail singing along to his theme song that nobody can sing along to.
You're right. But Rick brought up an interesting point. Does this backfire on them? And Enzo ends up becoming the big star because that's not the way Vince sees it right now. Vince wants, he's 7 foot tall. Vince's dick got hard the moment he probably saw the guy.
I think he got heel heat out of this. He definitely got some heat, but I still think right now when you have a show that doesn't have a lot of guys with mic skills, and Enzo has some mic skills, I think people are going to be attracted to Enzo's character, whether he can wrestle or not. When he grabs a microphone, he entertains certain people, and I think people like that.
He's like a damn,
I didn't think his promo was great tonight. I thought he tried to be creative, but I thought it was too much. Like, I thought he overdid it.
I think that they are missing the boat by only having no managers at all anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we agree. We were talking about that.
Well, here's the thing with Enzo. Here's where Enzo kind of proves us wrong. Because I don't think half the shit he says is scripted. I don't think Enzo's promos are scripted. I think he is able to, because he can prove that he can. I think they give him kind of bullet points and he goes off there off the cuff. And this is what we preach at all the time. They need to let wrestlers cut their own promos and stop with the scripted shit. The problem is that Enzo Amore tonight proved Vince right. He proved why they don't put a mic in their hand without any kind of leash on them. He proved why they don't skip it.
Wait, you thought it was that bad?
Dude, it was way too long.
Well, it was long. What did they give him that? I kind of felt like it was scripted too. Like, I kind of felt like somebody said, "Dude, you have a Frank Sinatra tattoo on your arm. Use that."
Great
Like,
balls.
Again, they're probably giving him bullet points,
but
I don't think
he called him. What was he call him? Young Blue Eyes or Old Blue Eyes? He never said Sinatra. That's down the road. They're gonna have the Fly Me to the Moon pay-per-view next month.
He's gonna get 10 promos out of one tattoo.
They could just do like pay-per-views from like song titles, like New
You could do New York for SummerSlam.
I could do it. Dirty Water for Boss. I don't know.
Fucking City of Angels. For
I don't have this sound on right now, but it looks like Miz is cutting a sick promo on the post show right now.
But Big Cass and Enzo, AC, what are your thoughts on this one?
It was everything I expected. I mean, I think I said to you on a pre-show, the only question is whether it's a squash match or not, and we got the answer. So, I mean, I kind of get where Enzo was going. It was long. It was a little bit overboard with the pre-thing promo. I mean, honestly, what I would want out of Enzo in this program was a little more like being more upset about it. Like, there's like too much dancing and happy. And then he tries to go into the I'm sad about it. It's not working.
No.
But as far as the match went, I mean, it kind of went the way it had to go. I mean, nobody was going to buy that Enzo is going to beat Kaz the way Enzo's wrestled in the last year and a half. So it is what it is. I thought they did what they had to do for the most part.
I think that...
He did reference Big Show, too, which I think you're headed to Big Kaz and Big Show.
It's going to be Enzo's new partner, right?
Yeah, probably. And Big Show will be wrestling big cats, and then fucking idiot Enzo will be running around the ring outside.
Oh yeah. You're
I was so
you're
more of a
wanting,
beating,
you're
so-
wanting managers. Enzo is going to be Big Show's manager.
They can cry together.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Rick, your thoughts on this match?
I just think that the beating should have been more severe. That's all.
A little
I
blood?
And I would have liked a little bit more. So he did some of these bumps that Enzo takes, man. They're gonna kill him eventually.
Oh
so.
yeah.
The one where he threw him out of the ring, I thought he did.
Yeah, that's.
Actually, I got to bring this up. The ref in that match was my boy Bandito from the Dirty Jersey. He wrestled in a Bethany Town Hall a bunch of times. My Bandito Jr. He's now a ref in WWE, so he reffed the match. So I was kind of watching him, so I was kind of marking out for Bandito, too.
I want to remind everybody.
Like, fuck those indie guys.
Hey, at least they're giving some of those guys jobs because, what was his name? Drake Younger, they gave a job as a ref. And he was like the super hardcore dude who probably would have never been there otherwise. So,
well, he went for an NXT tryout, and they apparently thought he was better suited to be a ref and offered him the job. He finished up his indie dates and went and took it, and now he's on pay-per-view. So good for him.
Setting up the ring on pay-per-view, wait.
Want to remind
is my answer to the question.
Want to remind you all that we are 1650 PWAM. That's Pro Wrestling and More. And go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And we are live. We are live here. We are free. You don't have to join our Patreon and give us $3 to hear us. Well, we're absolutely free here. Or $9.99. Yeah, whatever.
You know what paywalls do to your weight?
What's that?
You know what paywalls do to radio shows, White? Is that, or podcasts, or how you call it these days?
What's that?
It's basically you get the handful of people that are going to pay you the money, and then you never grow your show again.
Exactly.
So once those people say, "Oh, you suck," and stop paying you your money, you basically talk to yourself.
Yep.
We did for years, but we never charged money for it.
Well, that was back before people knew that they could found out how they could do it themselves. Nobody knew how to do what you were doing back in the day, Rick.
When podcasting had we didn't even have iPods back then.
Nope.
Anyway, so what was I going to ask you? You see that one sign that they kept showing for that guy's podcast?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking you need to get your next time they're in Richmond to plant yourself in the front row with a Twitter handle sign.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was pissed. I'm like, he's got more airtime than half the
I'm
matches.
surprised that shit didn't get taken away because they're usually quick to take that shit away from people.
I did want to bring up something. I want to get your thoughts on it. So, I noticed on the last couple of shows that I've watched, there's this guy in the front row with the green shirt and the goatee. So if you guys go back and watch, I don't know if he's like this new super fan or whatever, but he's been in the same exact spot, camera side, front row, middle, green shirt, goatee, kind of chubby.
I have to go back and take a look.
It was kind of annoying, and then obviously Sign Guy was there too.
Oh, jeez.
It was Brock Lesnar fan there with his same fucking Extreme
yeah,
Couture T-shirt from 2007.
Yeah, they showed I saw Rick the Sign Guy when it was like an outside the ring thing, and they showed him for like a second, and then went away.
They've started to put him on the camera side of things, like where the camera's at, like in front of the camera, to where you can't even notice his signs and shit anymore.
Did you notice on the pre-show that all the fucking security, like anytime someone did a stutter step, they were running them over, trying to push them beyond the set.
Mm-hmm.
So this one kid walks by with a Young Bucks Bullet Club shirt on. He was too sweet, and the security's like, move on. And anybody that was in the seats
behind
that
them,
were
behind
behind the set,
up.
if they stood up, they made them sit down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why put the fucking set there if you're gonna go through so much trouble?
And then they move it, that same set, they move it to the back for Raw Talk. I'm like, just do the shit backstage.
I know it's actually distracting to see every fan that walks by. There's a security guy ushering him by. Like, it was so weird. I sat very close to that set at the IZOD for Extreme Rules a couple years ago. It was me and my daughter and Ken and Michelle, and I don't remember it. Like, maybe the people were just being like walking by and not doing anything, but I don't remember that security presence like I saw on this pre-show.
Times are tough.
You had Cesaro and Sheamus defeating the Hardy Boys 4-3 in a 30-minute Iron Man match. I loved every minute of this. A lot of people said that they just liked maybe the last 10 minutes of it. I liked it from beginning to end, and it's everything that an Iron Man match should be. It's probably the best Iron Man match that they've done in years.
Shoot me.
Well, Bailey and Sasha was good on the NXT.
Yeah, but that's NXT. I'm talking, they don't consider that the same level, but it was damn good. Sure. But as far as a main roster show goes, this is the best 30 minutes. It's the best Iron Man match I think they've had in quite a while. The last one I can remember being good was Kurt Angle and Brock back in like 04 or 03. So
I like the start.
The start was good. The ending was damn good.
That was kind of cool. Yeah.
I like to start with the kind of Cesaro grabs Matt's attention. He gets bro kicked. Boom. You get a quick pin. Honestly, the whole time watching it, I thought they were headed for what you picked with the stalemate.
Sudden death, yeah.
Yeah. Then, I mean, I enjoyed the whole match. Granted, I mean, listen. The last 10 minutes of an Iron Man match are supposed to be the best 10 minutes now. Mm-hmm. So, you're not telling me anything I shouldn't know.
Unless you're
but I thought overall the half an hour, I didn't find the half an hour boring at all. Sometimes when you see that little clicker, it kind of like gets in your head like, oh my God, there's that much more of this match. I don't know. I don't think I really felt that. I honestly thought it was probably the best match of the night.
There's a lot of people online going, quit reminding us how much time it is left. It makes the damn match seem way longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it's an Iron Man match. You're supposed to do that, though.
I mean, but have the counter up there on the screen where we can look at it. The announcers don't have to keep hammering it home,
Well, the announcers suck. We know that. Mm-hmm. I mean, Corey Graves was talking about the Houston Rockets, and he's in the arena where the Dallas Mavericks play.
And then they start talking about, Booker T starts talking about football.
Oh my, don't even get me started.
Corey
is my new favorite announcer because he was putting over the Patriots. So kudos to you.
And then Corey Graves Booker starts talking about football, and I think this was a jab at Jim Ross because Corey goes, "Nobody cares about football, Booker."
Japan show was way better, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Rick, what were your thoughts on the Iron Man match?
Iron Man match. I think that there was 6 too many falls. Other than that, I think the match was okay. I think that the problem with the two teams is they have very limited move sets, and you get repeat moves, and I thought that it was going to be like a 3-3, and then do the whole 5 more minutes, which they didn't do. And then I thought that they might try to do like a 5 seconds to go swanton 1-2, and then they don't have enough time. But it still worked out kind of.
Well, they kind of went to that with him hitting the twist of fate, and then they cover him with 3 seconds to go. I thought, like I said, the match was really good, and I was hoping for the stalemate.
The math white, right? If you think about it, when they were up by 2 falls, they were technically up by 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. They have an advantage.
I mean, I was
hoping. Are we gonna see any more of them? I don't want to see them fight no more.
I hope that's it, but I was kind of hoping for Cesaro and Sheamus. You got that quick out of the gate start, which was really good. But I was hoping for maybe Cesaro and Sheamus to hit him with a chair, and that would cost him a fall. But you could use the whole storyline of, yes, it cost him a fall, but it did enough damage to where they could make it up quickly. But we didn't get none of that. But they still played really good heels.
Yeah. Could have used chairs and tables and, just got a disqualification like the old days.
Mm-hmm.
And get 2 falls out.
I remember when, I know this is dating myself, Rock and Triple H had that Iron Man match at Judgment Day 2000. That was an hour. And Triple H used a chair on Rock, and that's where they went with it of, how smart of him, how smart of the heel to use a chair,
Exciting.
Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss by countout, and oh my God, AC, the sensitive universe lost their shit here about this finish. Oh my God, it's a countout. How dare them not give us a proper finish? And I'm like,
oh, come on.
They gave you a damn good finish. He's a fucking heel. Come on.
Right. That, to me, that was one of the more heelish finishes they've had. I hear these. I like when we had all these arguments with people a couple of years ago with James Stewart, and everybody was telling me, Seth Rollins is a heel and he cheats, but he had no idea James Stewart was coming out. and I'm screaming about that's not a fucking heel finish. This is a heel finish. This is what heels do. No problem with it. The one thing I did notice watching the match is, although I enjoy Sasha Banks, and again, another alumni from the Bethany Town Hall, Alexa Bliss is just on another level. And it kind of showed to me in this match. That little thing with her arm, it freaked me out. I thought her arm was really dislocated or something. And that was like weird, something I never seen before. And I mean, every time a move gets hit on Sasha Banks, you wonder if her career is over. and then the real problem I had with the whole thing was I had no problem with the finish. The match was good. Alexa should keep the title. I don't think Sasha should have it. I love Alexa's run. Keep it going. But my one problem with it is the finish to me after the finish, or I shouldn't say the finish, after the finish, the end, what was going on there with Sasha and her.
It's that 50-50
felt like,
booking.
It almost felt like Sasha was turning heel. Like, that's not something the babyface is supposed to do.
We saw that twice tonight.
Right, with Reigns also.
Yeah.
And it's like and I said it both times. Is Sasha turning heel? Is Reigns turning heel? Because it gave you that feel. And I mean, I just didn't think that was needed.
I think with this case, it was just Sasha, them doing the 50-50 booking. We gotta have we can't have the baby face down. We can't, we gotta put smiles on people's faces. We can't have the bad guys take a win. That's
right,
their
but
mentality.
I think they're cutting their nose off to spite their face a little
Absolutely,
bit. I don't think anybody's buying that shit.
You're absolutely right, but I'm just telling you what Vince's mentality is. Goddamn.
Well, it's not just him. Triple H has said it a million times too, so he's right in line with all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, goddamn, pal, babyface got to get their heat.
And
back.
I love Triple H. But Triple H is right along the lines with all that bullcrap.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I saw the beating after this, and I'm sitting there going, come on, let her just get up the ramp, or at least do a deal where Sasha chases her to the back and we don't see them again till tomorrow. I mean, that would have been better than, we got to get, Sasha's got to beat the fuck out of her after she just won. Come on now. Or have Kurt Angle come out and, say, hey, we'll get to Kurt in a minute. Have them come out and go, hey, or after the match, Alexa gets chased to the back and Kurt comes out and goes, hey, we're going to have a rematch tomorrow night on Raw. No countouts, no DQ, whatever, with these guys. Rick, your thoughts on this one?
Uh-huh. Well, I missed 95% of it. I saw the very end with the lady parts to the mouth or whatever. But whatever it is, the girls don't interest me that much right now. So,
wow.
Because it's the same ones. I mean, Alexa's interesting, don't get me wrong, but Sasha doesn't do anything for me.
You were talking about
it's fair. It's a fair criticism.
Yeah. You were talking about the lady parts to the face. After she jumped off that table, my 17-year-old stepdaughter goes, oh my God, that was just straight up cooch to the face. And that's the only thing they had to say about the move. I had 3 teenagers in the room marking out over, oh my God, she just put her puss right in her face.
Honestly, I wanted Alexa to put Sasha through the table.
Yeah.
Because there's something about her. Not only is she's got that sexiness about her, but the mean streak makes her even that much more sexy. So yes. you almost wanted Sasha or Alexa to just, even though Sasha tried that fucking heel gimmick bullshit, Alexa's going to get one over on her anyway. I didn't like the fact that Sasha left with her hand raised. It bothered me.
It did bother me. It bothered me a lot. It's like that.
Everybody gets the participation trophy, White.
I mean, yeah,
right.
well, 50-50, right?
Yeah. The Miz.
You win the match, I raise my hand at the end. I mean,
The Miz with Maurice, Curtis Axel, and Rockstar Bo Dallas, which I don't get that at all, man. They should be all dressed in suits. Bo Dallas should be out there dressed as like a boxer or a biker. He defeated Dean Ambrose. This was the worst match of the show to me.
they're in shits. Oh. The worst match of the show. It's like every match that The Miz is in is the worst 15 minutes of my life.
Honestly, The Miz has gotten better. It's just the fact that he needs somebody new to work with. I just hopefully.
There's 5 freaking wrestlers on the roster other than freaking Dean Ambrose so that they can put in the ring with them.
Well, they could put others in the ring with them. It's just that they don't want to push anybody else. That's the problem.
You put that Titus in there. How was it pushing him anyway, White? Because nobody's beaten the Miz in like 6 months. I mean, they could just put any. Heath Slater could take a face plant in the middle like he did when nobody was watching tonight.
We'll get that. We'll get to him in a minute.
But you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who it is.
Those two. Oh man, wait till you hear the match time for those two.
That was so great too. Well, you heard the belt. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. But AC, your thoughts on the Miz defeating Dean Ambrose?
I was glad it happened. It kind of happened the way we figured. 3 against 1, blah, 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 the whole deal. Miz gets the win. Let's move on. I'm not a big Dean Ambrose guy anyway. Let's get the Miz on to bigger and better things and let Ambrose go off and do whatever he's got to do.
Ambrose is the new Santino.
You're about right.
I mean, I've been trashing Ambrose since the Shield days, so I'm not giving up on the fact that he's overrated.
Put that shit in a tweet, White. Ambrose is the Santino. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Do we even need to go to you for thoughts, Rick? You pretty much given yours.
I can't watch Mike the Miz match because they're all the same. He cheats, he does the same poor moves, and he usually gives a shitty promo at the beginning or at some point in the show. So I have no use for Mike the Miz. So I guess not. No.
Braun Strowman defeated Roman Reigns in an ambulance match. I love this. I loved every aspect of it. From the time they entered till the time they said, okay, we're going to Brock and Joe. I loved every freaking aspect of this. It was a match. It was an angle all rolled into one. It's exactly what pro wrestling is supposed to be. I like the finish with Roman Reigns going for that spear and right into the ambulance. And Braun's like, oh, yeah, shuts the door.
There you go. Problem solved.
I loved it. I loved the finish. And I think the big problem coming out of this, though, is the fact that Braun Strowman won the match is meaningless now. After all the gaga that they did at the end and everything like that, the fact that, and it wasn't how he won the match, it was the fact that he won the match is now secondary to Roman Reigns, again, with the 50-50 booking, coming in and bucking him up at the end, and then Braun Strowman still walking away from that. But yet, I like this. I liked every aspect of it. I like the fact that while they're trying to get the jaws of life to get Strowman out of the ambulance at the end of it, they send out Heath Slater and Kurt Hawkins. And I want to say this is the very first time in history that you did not see a finish to a fucking match at all. Like, they're back there, we're watching the firemen. And you hear ding, 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 and I'm like, oh my God, I literally tweeted out, what the fuck? We didn't see the finish. Like, it's important, but we didn't see the finish. And all you hear is JoJo going, your winner, Heath Slater. They never cut back to the match after they cut away from it.
You kind of heard the ding, ding in the background.
Yes, it was beautiful. I liked it. There's going to be people out there that bitch about it, but I loved it. And you're like, the winner is Heath Slater. And the only thing I keep thinking is the jobbing out of Kurt Hawkins continues, but it doesn't matter because they both get a pay-per-view payday out of all this.
Right. They're not mad.
Kind of weird because it almost seemed like Heath Slater didn't realize he was going to be in a match until he was out there.
Well, I mean, you know what? That's the way it was supposed to be. Honestly, I think that they told these guys, hey, this is what we're going to do. They knew it was going to happen, but Hawkins and Slater, with Slater wrapping his hand as he was coming out with this bewildered look on his face, kudos to both of them. They sold it so well.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. Kudos to both of them, man. Enjoy the pay-per-view payday you're going to get, you know?
Pay-per-view payday. They don't have
they get bonuses for being on shows.
0.001% of $9.99.
There you go. It's better than nothing.
9 cents. 9 cents a pay-per-view.
9 cents for the pay-per-view.
Exactly what it is, right? If you think about it. Even if I don't know if they pay the people.
So we essentially got one match right after the other. Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater here went 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
It's about as much as they need.
Yeah.
They pretty much did. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the way the way I see it is Reigns and Strowman isn't done. Like I thought honestly, I thought if Strowman won, he'd win in a way that they'd get Reigns away from him for a while, and he'd look for redemption down the road, or they would just pretend like it never happened, like they usually do. The way they did that tonight, it's not over. You know what I mean? And the way Strowman won made Reigns look very strong too. I don't know. Is this the start of a Reigns heel turn? Maybe. Not that I trust them to book it properly out of this. I think there's avenues they could go, but it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow.
Here's the problem. He's going up against Brock Lesnar next month. That crowd is going to cheer the fuck out of Lesnar and boo the hell out of Reigns. You're talking about the Staples Center. It's New York. It's the smarkiest of smart crowds.
Well, the Staples Center's in L.A., but you could talk about the Barclays in New York.
Barclays,
New York. Sorry.
The nice one.
They don't have arenas like that in Paducah. I know.
No, they don't. They got the Greensboro Coliseum 45 minutes away from me. That's about it.
The Danville Cow Palace.
Yeah, the Danville Cow Palace, pretty much. But you got they're going to be in the Barclays. They're going to be in New York. It's the smarkiest of smart crowds besides WrestleMania.
Who? Is it Staples or Barclays?
It's Barclays in New York.
Wow.
So the crowd's obviously going to be all over Roman, so why not turn him heel?
But here's the thing, White.
Uh-oh.
Here's the thing, White. I am not convinced that it's not going to be Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman.
I'm kind of with Rick on this.
It could be. I could see that happen. Or a three-way.
I don't think it's a slam dunk that it's Lesnar and Reigns.
How can Roman beat him at this point after losing the match, running him into the side of whatever the hell that was? The guy surviving, walking away like nothing happened. Put a little blood on Triple H's bus, but whatever. And how is he going to beat him in a match? He's not going to beat him. So the next step is Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman.
You're right.
Number one contenders match between Reigns and Strowman probably wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here, or they do a three-way dance.
Well, whose eye is more injured, Braun Strowman's or Seth Rollins?
Or Matt Hardy's. Good Lord, did you see the gash on Matt Hardy's head?
We got a lot of eye injuries tonight.
Yeah, we did.
Or Alexa's from Sasha's vagina.
Yeah, probably Alexa.
But I liked everything.
She might like it. I mean, I wasn't mad at her.
I mean, you're absolutely right. How can he come out there and be number one contender still when the night after whatever it was, the last pay-per-view, he's out there going, I am now number one contender because I beat Braun Strowman. Well, Braun Strowman came back and kicked your ass even worse and walked away from what you did. He said it, but did nobody made it official?
Anybody in a position of authority made it official?
If I'm WWE and Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns comes out there tomorrow night talking about how he's the number one contender, I send Kurt Angle out there going, look, after what you did, you lost the match, and you went and did this shit to him, and you went and took the low road. You don't deserve to be number one contender, you know?
I think this may turn on Reigns. I think Angle may turn on Reigns from this. And my other thought, before we get into the main event, you just did another pay-per-view, and they're trying so hard to get this guy over, but Fragile Devitt, nowhere to be found.
Where is he? They were chanting his name during the Heath Slater 2 minutes of ball.
They did.
I mean, maybe we should have did him and Elias Sampson. During the carnage there.
I know, like instead of Slater and Hawkins running out there, you could have had Strowman come out there and start singing "Great Balls of Fire," and all of a sudden Balor's music hits and they go at it for like 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, but no, we got the Job Squad out there pretty much.
I mean, how are you going to run these shows and all these pay-per-views and then do all these vignettes and different things and have all these guys job to Devitt or to Finn Balor and you're doing nothing with them?
It's a story. It's been
especially
like that since
with the popularity of the Bullet Club right now. You would think they'd want to capitalize on that.
It's
But
been
with
like this. It's been like this the night after Mania. They pushed him hard, then he got hurt. I honestly think that he's.
I mean, I know the weakest reign of the Bullet Club was when Devitt was in it, but I mean, at least they could still kind
I
of push
honestly
the theme.
think that Vince McMahon feels like you do, AC. He's fragile. He's injury prone. We're gonna wait for
I
him
think
to work
that's
a
their.
while.
I think that's their. They feel like he's Daniel Bryan 2.0.
Yeah, they're gonna ride
As
out.
soon as we fucking make him a huge star, his neck's gonna give out. Or
Yep.
his,
And
whatever.
honestly, man, I'm a Finn Balor fan. I'm a Prince Devitt fan. Even going back to when he was in the Bullet Club. But I feel like they're going to pull a deal where they just ride out his contract because they don't want him going anywhere else and getting over right now. And then they're going to release him. I guarantee you, either next year or the year after, however long his contract is, he's going to be released. And he'll go back to Japan and make bank.
I don't think that's going to happen, White.
Really?
I think Triple likes him too much.
I think Kenny Omega's gonna fuck him up.
Kenny Omega might be in the E in like 3 months. So
I hope not.
Oh,
He's too good.
AC doesn't want anybody from the Indies going to the E because he knows
No,
how bad
I don't.
they'll
I don't
fuck
want
him up.
people that are good going there, because they're gonna fuck them up.
Yep, just like they do with Austin Aries.
you notice how they did the MSG title change the same night that New Japan crowned their first U.S. champion? That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
See,
on TV wise, but yeah, you're right.
On TV, Jim Ross has got flash.
So they had a SmackDown title change hands on a
Raw house show.
a Raw house show.
So,
I mean, they stole New Japan's thunder there. I mean,
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Brock Lesnar defeating Samoa Joe in 6 minutes and 25 seconds.
I didn't wait to say anything about the last match.
Well, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
I didn't like it at all. I
Really?
didn't like it. I thought it was overdone. I would have liked to see him flip over a fire truck, though. That would have been good. But I don't like it. I thought the last part was overdone, but whatever.
too much.
Too much. They always do too much with Braun. I don't know what the point of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the blood on the what? They just inconspicuously have a white friggin' bus so he could put some blood on it.
That is true. That is a
white
good point.
bus.
That is it. Fucking detailed too. Like the thing was glowing.
I could see Vince going, make sure
You know, that is a fantastic point. That fucking bus was glowing.
White, yeah. Vince is sitting there going, Vince is having people shine it up before the show. Get it shiny, pal. God damn it, he's got to smear blood all over it.
You know what was really in the ambulance was Enzo.
Friggin' Enzo. I think Vince see him beaten up, so he might last a couple of years.
He's
just
like,
to get beat.
then they're going to pry you out of the ambulance. And you're going to flop around on the ground like a fish. And when they finally get him,
Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble with the fucking crowbar and the goddamn gloves on. God damn it, I'll get this thing open, dude. Come on.
It came off as like comedy. That's what I needed.
did.
Like I think it was supposed to be serious, and then you got friggin' Kurt Angle telling people to turn off their phones.
Yeah, turn off the damn phone. We don't. And the girls are sitting there. The damn rats are sitting there with their tits half hanging out with the fucking cameras.
Turn off your phones. I'm like, Kurt, there's a friggin' camera right next to you.
I know. It's like, dude, it's being broadcast to the world as it is.
I mean, I love how they film. I love how they film the ambulance with Reigns in there. I mean, let's show him in the mirror for just enough time to Strowman to get out of the ambulance.
Yes.
It's again, your 8-year-old's probably sitting there going, "Oh yeah, Strowman's leaving the ambulance."
Well, no, my 8-year-old.
You're not fooling anybody.
My 8-year-old marked out over
like,
it and was
when
impressed.
as soon as he stopped that ambulance, what went through your mind? Like, be honest. What through my mind is he's gonna reverse this ambulance into something. I just didn't know what he was gonna hit. I knew right away. I'm like, he's gonna put this fucking thing in reverse and hit something.
Well,
the second he stopped it,
my thought was he was gonna flip it over. I thought he was gonna flip it over.
Reigns was gonna flip it over.
Yeah.
No, I knew the way he stayed inside it. I'm like, he's gonna reverse and hit something. And no, it didn't shock me at all. No shock value, none.
They
Right.
I mean,
Put them a lot of-
it just, I thought it looked cool with the firemen having to go. Like, yeah, the fireman got dispatched in less than 2 minutes to the arena.
Did you see the fire truck, though?
Listen, those firemen, that made their night. They probably got 40 hours. The WWE probably paid them $40 an hour for the off-duty firemen, paid the city God knows how much
To
to have
rent
that
the
fucking
truck,
fire
yeah.
truck.
Well, a fire truck.
And I love how Michael Cole is like, that thing there, that's the jaws of life. Like, I mean, does anybody not know what that is at this point in their? I mean,
Honestly, there's a lot of people out there that don't know what it is.
really?
I mean,
To get me out of a car.
they're no joke. But I mean, when's the last time you even? Honestly, I've never even seen one of those in person. The last time
I mean, in person is one thing, but you've heard of it, you've seen it on TV, or you've heard about its usage.
it was
on
in
TV.
Remember the Nutty Professor movie where they're having to pry his ass out of the car, and they're like, "It's the first time we had to use one of these without an accident." And Eddie Murphy's just badass and just sitting there.
Scary crap, man. When that's like 3 inches from your head.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's scary as hell.
But
they will get you flipped over a car.
There you
go.
But I like how Kurt Angle is just sitting there, jaw dropped, and he's praying, "Please God, let him be okay. Please God, let him be okay." That's how a general manager should react. But the part of him going, "Put away your damn phones. We don't need that here." And it's like, go to the network if you want. Tell your friends to go to the network if they want to see it. Oh man.
Wait, no Facebook Living the fake catastrophe.
Now it would make sense if tomorrow they would go, "This is Facebook Live video from Jennifer McCauley, who was backstage somehow." Then you're wondering, well, how the fuck did the rat get backstage? But anyway,
they were in that white bus.
yeah.
What about?
They were in my bus. Anyway.
I am the game.
White voice is terrible still.
Oh man.
15 years, you'd have it figured out. But a few more years.
It's supposed to be terrible. Anyway, Brock Lesnar defeated Samoa Joe. I liked this match from start to finish. The finish of it, I thought, was him getting out of it and I'm instantly popping into the F5. I didn't care for that part of it, but
the end sucked. Let's be honest.
The ending,
the
finish was the only bad part. The finish was the only bad part. The good part
the
was
finish
him
was bad.
him.
The rest of it was okay. Yeah,
the part with Joe jump starting it and rushing him and putting him to the table, I thought they had me there for a second going, okay, maybe they're going to put Joe over. And then the second he kept having to go back to that, the second he got suplexed, I was like, oh, nope, not happening.
This is my thought. Brock sells that Kakita clutch. That's not even all the way in. That's half. I mean,
you can look
they're
at him
talking.
until his hands
They're
are barely there.
Here's my problem with the way it was sold. The announcers are saying Joe can't sink it in properly because he can't grab his bicep.
But Brock
and then they're
purple.
like, Brock's turning purple. He's turning purple. And it's like, okay, if he can't sink it in properly, why is he turning purple?
You can look at that Coquita clutch and tell that he's got it on as light as he possibly can.
Right. But my other thing was he totally no-sold the shoulder into the post, right into the let's get back to Suplex City here.
Suplex City.
This is what I mean. I'm not going to get mad about it because it is what it is. This is what we knew was coming, so it is what it is.
It was a good match too. I don't have a bad. I mean, it's not a horrible match. Brock's match with Goldberg at Mania was way worse than
Here's
this.
my biggest thing though. What do they do with Joe coming out of this? Because if Joe goes back to just being run-of-the-mill Samoa Joe, then this did nothing for him. Because what I hear from a lot of my WWE Mark friends of mine who just anything the WWE does is fantastic. Those people still exist, and they'll tell me that Joe got a rub from working with Brock. So well, hold on. If that's the case, what are you doing with Joe coming out of this? Is Joe still a badass, or is Joe going to a program with Ambrose on the pre-show of SummerSlam, which is probably where he's headed anyway? So, I mean, listen, we all knew what it was.
I think that unless they do a rematch of these two at SummerSlam, you gotta have you can't just have Joe going back to fighting. Or unless they're gonna program Joe versus Balor at SummerSlam, you can't not have Joe in the title picture next month. He's got to be there. And that's
Or
why I
six.
said maybe
They
do a
do this shit
three-way.
all the time, though, Joe.
You're
You
right.
can say that, but that doesn't mean they're gonna do it.
You're right. Joe will be fighting Enzo next month. Watch it. I guarantee you, Joe will be fighting Enzo next month.
Or he'll be fighting Ambrose or
Yeah.
Rollins.
Or Miz.
They never really went all the way with him and Rollins. They may be like, all right, pal, we're taking Samoa Joe and putting him in Rollins. You know, okay,
That's what they probably will do is Joe and Rollins, but
Yeah.
probably. I mean,
Yeah.
they never really finalize. I mean, not that they ever finalize anything, but they never really finalized that. So that's an easy landing spot.
Sasha Banks.
Oh,
Sasha Banks apparently went on Raw talking about Alexa going. She came in with her fake little stories of I love wrestling and I grew up with the Hardy Boys, and she's like, you can't even tell the difference between Matt and Jeff, you idiot. That's a dig at Jim Ross.
Hey, before I forget, can I give you one thing on the last match we were just talking about?
What's that?
I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. So the rub would have been, Joe comes out, hits him from behind, throws him out of the ring, puts him through the table, and then chokes him out. And that's the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been, we just made Samoa Joe. But they don't have the courage to do that. They haven't had the courage to do that in like 15 years with anybody.
No, the last person they had the courage to do it with is fucking Goldberg, and now it means nothing because Goldberg's not there anymore, and Goldberg didn't mean anything in the first place. But you're absolutely right. If Joe would have put him through the table, throw him back in the ring, slapped the clutch on him, and was like, okay, that was it. Yes,
that would have been perfect.
He would have gotten the rub, and Lesnar's not hurt because you can always go, oh yeah, it took putting me through a table and then putting on the clutch to do it. That's how Brock can come back strong. But also, the fact that they had Brock laughing off the table spot afterwards.
Right.
That was so
But I mean, that was kind of
man.
a delirious laugh, though.
The delirium.
It still doesn't. It's not helping Joe out any.
Well, right, because Brock Lesnar's the pay-per-view champion, the UFC champion, the draw, the star. We talked about it in the pre-show, Joe. We all know this. Samoa Joe's the TNA, the ROH guy. He's not the UFC champion. He's not the, million pay-per-view buy fucking guy. So, yeah, listen, this went the way we expected.
But I mean, overall, there are pinholes we could poke in this as we've done. But overall, this is probably the best pay-per-view. But
it was still a good show. It really was.
If you take away WrestleMania, hell, I'll even go as far as to say storyline-wise, this was better than Mania.
Cover your eyes, White. Are you kidding me?
I enjoyed it.
Mania was pretty bad this year.
I enjoyed this. I think I enjoyed this better than Mania.
Honestly, I haven't liked WrestleMania since the one in Frisco.
Wait. I don't know, White. If it's shit and it has corn in it, it's still shit.
Well, we can talk about degrees of bad, which is the way I break down Raw weekly.
It wasn't bad. It was what it was. There was some stinkers on there.
I love Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss responded to Sasha Banks' tirade and goes, acting like she knows me. Ha ha ha. Not even worth my time. Hashtag and still. See, that's how.
I like the utilization of the and still.
I mean, and I like how this is how social media should be utilized. You don't post You don't post photos of you and her 12 hours later hanging out doing shots at the bar or some shit.
Right, like Strowman and Reigns, like traveling Europe together.
That's where Jim Cornette has it right when it comes to how social media has killed the wrestling business. Because if I'm running a wrestling promotion, I'm looking at my entire locker room going, baby faces and heels. If you post a photo 24 hours after this show with you two together at the bar, you'll never be booked for me again.
Well, I can tell you, I think the indie guys grasp that better than the pros.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on which indie.
Yeah, true.
Well, true.
Depends on who's buying the beers. Anyway.
Well, I'm just saying they may all hang out together, but I've seen.
I mean, granted, you're never
the indie promotions that I follow. They've been advancing their storylines on social media instead of exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, you're never going to get.
It's a tool. I mean, it costs you nothing, so it's a tool to utilize. I mean, the guy's got to be smart enough to utilize it properly. But
yeah, what?
There's a meme out there on Twitter of Angle looking like all jaw dropped at the ambulance, and Roman Reigns is in the background limping away, and it's like Roman Reigns leaving the scene of the crime, like, you didn't see shit, Kurt. That's pretty good. Kurt Angle's facial expressions and the way he reacted to the whole thing was good. But tomorrow night he has got to come out there.
He's got to come down on Reigns.
Yeah,
right?
man, he's got to come down on Reigns. I mean, but
that's the only thing that makes sense.
Here's what kills me though, and this is the sensitive universe for you, AC. The same people who have been booing his ass for months, right? Or years now. If he comes out there and suspends Roman Reigns, those same people who booed him are now going to boo Kurt.
They're going to boo Angle.
They're going to boo Angle. I guarantee you that'll happen.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right about that.
We're going to replace Angle with Dixie Carter. Just ask the internet.
Oh, and
wait, is Dixie really doing a fucking a table spot on the network?
They aired.
Well, it's for the 20. You know they do the 24 documentary.
Yeah.
Filmed the thing for that.
They aired a preview of it
for the Angle one.
They aired a preview of it during the pre-show, and she's on there talking, and I'm just sitting there going.
I know. I saw the Angle video. I don't know. Maybe I just missed the spot where she was.
I'm sitting there going, oh my god.
They made it seem like it's a lot about Angle and Vince.
Yeah.
So from what I was told about that is, that part's gonna kind of make TNA look bad. So.
Whoa! There's a
shocker. Now that she's gone and done with the company.
I'm rolling over right now.
Now that she's gone and done with the company, she wants to make it look bad. No shit.
Well, I mean,
no, I don't know that. I don't know that she's doing it. I think that WWE's doing it, and she just kind of said her piece, and they edited it the way they want. You know.
My thing is that she should not be in anything involving the wrestling business ever again. Ever.
Well, that's why they got rid of the TNA name. It's GFW. It's Impact Wrestling presented by GFW. I mean, we all know it's TNA, but I don't think they're going to do anything great with it. Did you guys happen to catch the tweet by the one Alberto El Patron after the rap battle spot?
I freaking love Alberto.
He invited all the guys involved to his restaurant to fight, and then said he'd buy him.
I think he's an idiot. I think he's an idiot.
He's a fucking idiot.
Because honestly,
I could tell you from personal experience, he's a fucking idiot. I could tell you from the last indie show I went to, he's a fucking idiot. But whatever.
He's kind of an a-hole.
I mean, Paige was sitting in the front row at Crosby High School in Waterbury, Connecticut, watching her man. And then, did you see for Slammiversary, she had a lucha mask on.
Jesus.
Because it was airing on pay-per-view. So she went out, sat in the front row to watch him with a lucha mask on.
That'll be her next porno.
Viva Del Rio.
BBC with a mask.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but
Lucha Vavoom.
Wasn't it like a thing they broke up like 3 weeks ago, and now they're like madly in love again?
Yeah, it's like they broke up, and then the day after they realized how much flack they got on Twitter and on the dirt sheets, they're like, we better get back together just to prove them wrong.
What do they do with her?
What, WWE?
Yeah,
the rumor is they're gonna bring her back like nothing ever happened.
But the fans are not gonna treat
the
it that
sensitive
way.
Universe. Damn, well, dude, you know the sensitive universe.
That's not even a sensitive universe. That's like every asshole that ever walked into a wrestling show is gonna react to the fact that
mute the fucking crowd and have the announcers put her over, dude.
I heard it at indie shows.
Indies, dude.
Put her with the New Day and just get it over with.
Actually, Alberto punked me and my boy Jim because we were fucking giving him shade, and it was really weird because when the show started and they kind of do the announcing the matches because they had some rebooks or whatever,
right?
And when they brought up that match, when he heard El Patron, you heard boos, and then when he came out, all of a sudden all these fucking people were cheering, and I'm like, what the fuck are you cheering for? And he threw the same promo like, "Fuck the WWE, fuck the machine, cheer for all these young guys, cheer for the indie guy, this, that, and the other." And I'm sitting there like, bro, you never put a guy over to save your life. Who are you to say that?
I would have been looking at the fans. See, this is where, when fans do that, I don't cheer at the wrestlers. I look at the fans and I'm like, knock your shit off. You were just booing the guy 10 minutes ago. Come on. What's wrong with you people?
It's very strange. Live crowds are very strange these
days. You know that Alberto would go back to WWE in a minute.
That's Daniels.
He'll go back. 500,000. He'll do whatever they want. It's like last time.
Did I tell you what Daniels said in his promo that probably won't make air on the TV taping?
What'd he say?
Christopher Daniels. He goes, "You guys weren't fondling Cody's balls when he was Stardust."
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's fun.
And then everybody started laughing. He was like, "Don't you fucking laugh at that."
That'll make air. I guarantee you that makes air.
Maybe.
Dude, man, they could go so many places with Cody right now.
He also said that Daniels said that he could have signed a contract with NXT to be a trainer, but he's stuck with Ring of Honor, and now he's very upset that he got booed. But my whole thing is, if he fought Cody on the West Coast, he probably would have got cheered. But he fought Cody in the fucking shithole Lowell, Mass, and on the East Coast. And come on, we're like the fucking most, I don't know, kind of wrestling fans ever. We cheer the Bullet Club. We cheer everything White hates. We love.
Why do you want to say about Lowell, Mass?
It's a dump.
It's
like Waterbury. I mean, I throw shade on my own hometown. And Waterbury's a fucking dump too. And I could tell you from Saturday, we got there late Friday, so we pretty much checked in the hotel. We stayed at the same hotel as all the talent, because it's literally across the street. It's on UMass Lowell campus.
Yeah, there's only one nice hotel in Lowell. So.
Well, I don't know if you'd call it nice, but it was.
Have you noticed how we all hate our hometowns on this show? Like, you hate Waterbury, Rick hates Lowell, fucking Amelia's a dump.
From Lowell is a crap hole.
I mean, if there wasn't UMass Lowell, would there still be a Lowell?
Speaking of, you mentioned West Coast. Did you see how everybody on the internet,
even because of Mickey Ward?
Did you notice how everybody on the West Coast, like all the PWG marks and even the Young Bucks, were marking out because that chick from Boy Meets World, Topanga, was in the audience at the last PWG show?
Really? I missed that.
They were like, "What was your favorite part?" And there, one of the Young Bucks tweeted out, "Topanga cheering for us." And Meltzer's like,
I remember. Actually, that's what that came from, because Jay White threw some shade on that.
Yeah.
And Ricochet gave him heat on Twitter for that. So I was wondering what the fuck they were talking about.
This isn't the first celebrity to show up at PWG. It's California. You're in Reseda. So
I mean, the Young Bucks, they live 5 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, and Meltzer gets on his hotline and goes, "Why is it every time I'm not there is when the celebrities show up? When I'm there, no celebrities are there." And I'm just like, because they probably know you're fucking not coming, so they show up.
I know, because they don't want to deal with you.
They don't want to deal with you asking for interviews. But this PWG thing. Everybody marks out over Trevor Lee going there and everything like this, and I'm sitting there going, they're going to mark out. You could put a damn bear in the ring and they'd freaking mark out for it. That audience over there in Reseda is so jaded. It's not like your typical indie crowd. That whole crowd is nothing but smart marks, man.
It's very different than what.
Yeah, I mean,
we do gimmick, over here.
The whole gimmick of Reseda is you stick around till intermission. All the wrestlers come out, sit around the ring with their shirts, and sell you their shit out of their suitcases.
Well, I don't know how many indie shows you go to. That's pretty standard, no?
Not CWF. They got tables out in their lobby.
Oh, I know. Okay. I forgot CWF's the standard bearer. But, I mean, if I was to go to Bethany, if I was to go to Beyond, if I was to go to XWA, that's kind of a standard thing, though.
Oh.
What was that,
Rick? I agree.
I mean,
Sorry.
my thing
I
is just like
I looked at Facebook and something scared me. I apologize.
looking at pictures of my ex again. Anyway,
No, God,
um,
no way.
No, that's
I'm not into the crazy
that's
shit.
Magic Melvin Dassey.
Magic Melvin Dassey.
No, but, you've added
The
magic.
Peach Killer. The Peach Killer.
A lot of
Fucking
people
go-
are tweeting pictures of wrestlers like when they had that giant banner up around the arena that just kept circling with great balls of fire. A lot of the wrestlers, oh, he's blocking
Oh,
the.
they stole that from
blocking
Bethany, by the way.
What's that?
3 years ago in Bethany, Connecticut. This is a true story, and all the Bethany faithful would tell you about it. And we probably have video and photo evidence to prove it. That we made the biggest. Well, one of our faithful fans, Dave Woods, made the biggest sign ever, and literally got passed around the crowd during a match. That started in Bethany, Connecticut.
No, this isn't the passing of a sign. This is
Mentioned it.
it's Matt Hardy with his. It's Matt Hardy, and
No, this
behind
fucking
him.
sign was huge. I promise you.
Behind him is the big old, WWE Great Balls of Fire logo that they have up on the banner.
The penis.
Yeah, the whatever you call it. No. But basically, they have the WWE Great Balls of Fire circling around the screens in the arena up in the upper
Oh,
decks.
okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about somebody.
No.
I thought you said they were circling a sign. I'm like, that's. Come on, we did that 3 fucking years
it's
ago.
their LED board that every standard arena has. So Matt
Right.
Hardy's covering up the G and the R. So all you see is EAT space balls, and it looks like it says WWE Eat Balls. And there were several wrestlers that did that tonight by fluke accident. The crowd did it. But Matt Hardy is sitting there, his head's all bloody, and he's looking out of it, and it just says WWE Eat Balls behind him.
I'm sure there'll be many memes out tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Any final thoughts on this pay-per-view, Rick?
Wait, this pay-per-view was tailor-made for my type of radio.
Really?
And I behaved myself, and you made a lot of ball jokes. So, there you go. Maybe they could do better next week or in 2 weeks. I'm really looking forward to the Rusev and John Cena myself.
Oh, God.
Capture the flag match.
Capture the flag. What are they going to do next week? Play
why
Risk?
would you bring Rusev back to lose to John Cena in a capture the flag match?
Because it's 1980. Just gonna dig up Nikolai Volkov in the national anthem.
Because anything on a pole is funny, bro. That's why.
See, I killed him. See?
It was because it's 1980.
It's 1980.
Bethany, Connecticut. Bah. Northeast Wrestling. Bah. Sorry.
Hey, listen, there was at least 2 people on the show tonight that came from that building.
2 people? Yeah.
I love,
that was always a hard subject.
If I think about it, I could probably think of another one.
No.
There's
They still do
actually there's a
big names.
there's a wrestling promotion that actually has the name of one of their events is Xmas in July.
Right, White.
Oh, geez.
Wait. Who did that?
It's a company called Fest Wrestling, FEST, and
Xmas in July.
It's called Xmas in July is their next event on the 23rd, and it's Sue Young versus Holly Dead.
Seriously, White, why don't we just stick to CWF?
I just can't help it when I go through Twitter and see something that's stupid. I got to mention it. Any final thoughts on the pay-per-view, AC?
Final thoughts on the pay-per-view. Despite some of the criticisms we came up with throughout the show, I thought it was, given what they've been producing lately, halfway decent. Pretty good.
And we're gonna leave it there, folks. AC, we doing Monday night tomorrow?
Let's do it.
All
yep,
right.
I'm down.
They still broadcast wrestling on Monday nights?
Yeah, they still do.
Well, I mean, they might take a big shit on everything they did tonight.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
We'll be here to call them out on it if they
tomorrow
do.
Tomorrow night, we're going to be cursing them out tomorrow night. Just tune in for 2 hours of nothing but cursing tomorrow night after Raw.
Oh, I won't be here, unfortunately.
Oh, man, that's so sad,
Well,
Rick.
3 hours of Monday Night Raw puts my old ass to sleep. So
It does AC, too. I guarantee AC
I mean,
will fall asleep.
there's been 2 times out of the last 4 that I fell asleep.
Yep.
So I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm like, what the hell? Just cut it back by an hour.
I woke back up and it's like the fucking whatever is on USA is on the TV.
The damn
And
Friday
I
night
got
tights.
17 missed messages from White and Edwards.
It's the fucking the little 12-year-olds playing football, and he's like, "Where did Raw go?"
Friday Night Dykes.
Friday night dykes.
Yes.
He wakes up and goes into a fucking grown black guy cursing out a little kid, and he's like, "This is way better than Raw."
Before we get out of here, because we probably won't have time tomorrow, did either of you watch Glow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on Netflix?
I did. I watched it all. I loved it.
I watched it all. I thought it was very good.
We can talk about it tomorrow.
Surprised.
We'll talk
All
about
right,
it.
all right, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow.
We'll lead off the show with it tomorrow. Because
I'll give you a funny anecdote to leave with. So the other night I was watching the New Japan. You know, it's 4 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep about 2.5 hours in, but then I woke up and it was at the same exact spot.
Match, yes. Because they were
What the
replaying.
Well, JR was trying to figure out which Briscoe was which.
Yeah.
He had pictures. He had flashcards.
Yeah, I was telling you that.
And they didn't work very well, apparently.
There's a tweet going around with him sitting there with a packet full of papers with Jushin Liger and even the American talent on it, and he still can't get it right.
The worst one was the lethal injection. The lethal injection, that one just bothered me.
No, the one
when he was like, springboard stunner. What?
The one where, they're under a mask, so how should I know? That
was Los Incriminables State Japan, yeah. When he called Evil Bushi. And mind you, Evil Bushi next to each other, even in masks, are still pretty fucking distinctive.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the conspiracy theory is that Vince paid him money to screw up.
Hey, I listen, if you want to throw shade at New Japan for having Kevin Kelly in their fucking parking lot doing interviews with people nobody wants to hear about when their commentary is getting fucking destroyed, I kind of got to agree with them.
If I'm Kevin Kelly...
At a minimum, if you put Kevin Kelly in the booth, at least he's going to make a correction.
If I'm Kevin Kelly, I'm laughing my ass off right now.
Yeah, well, he might have laughed his ass off to the bank because that commentary was putrid.
They signed JR to do like a crap load more shows for him. Oh,
I don't know if it's live. I think, honestly, that was an Access deal. I think Access wanted JR because they put up that money.
Dumbass.
It's horrible. Anyway, folks, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for tonight. Join us for tomorrow for Monday Night PWAM. Good night, Rick.
I won't be there.
When Rick starts scoffing, we have to get him off the air. Oh, man. Anyway.
Rick's a trip.
He is. Even though he rejoined Twitter with a with the name Radio Wrestling, and I'm like, are you back? Are you doing shows again? He's like, they'd have to pay me $1 million to come back. I'm like, why are you rejoining fucking Twitter again?
Who would pay you?
When any monkey could do this, I can do this. Look, I'm pushing a button.
Maybe Rick's gonna be one of those guys that says, if you want to hear my post show,
$3, $50. No, knowing Rick, it's $100 an hour on Patreon.
Right.
I don't know. Rick wouldn't go that far.
I'm sure Firehawk would agree.
Rick would never do $100, $30 an hour for Rick to do a show.
Well, $30 an hour, but you have to bring three of your friends.
There was a guy back in there, Chris Cash, the guy who used to do Russo shit. Before Russo stopped paying him, used to charge people back in like 2006, was charging people $200 an hour.
Oh, you're talking about Vince Russo?
Yeah,
oh, I thought you were talking about Chris Russo.
No, Chris Cash, the guy who used to do Vince Russo's website, used to charge people $200 back in 2006. He was charging people like $200 an hour just to produce. Just sit there.
Speaking of Russo, this Thursday, the 30 for 30 Mike and the Mad Dog is airing on ESPN, and I cannot wait.
What is that about?
It's about Mike and the Mad Dog, the most famous sports talk radio show in the history of sports talk radio shows.
Is that the Mad Dog sports guy who is on Sirius?
Yes. Well, you don't know their background?
Dude, I'm not a sports radio kind of guy.
All right, okay. No,
dude,
I'm not even throwing shade at you, right? I'm just asking.
The closest ESPN affiliate we have is in Greensboro. So.
Okay, so you're
on
not
AM.
in your area. Sports radio is not a big deal.
No.
Well, okay, so back in the 80s, they started WFAN,
Right.
and which is obviously it was on 1050 at the time AM, and eventually they got it to 660 AM, which because of more powerful single they could get it to more places. But anyway, what they did was they they got Don Imus on in the morning.
Huh.
Basically because he brought a lot of advertising
Yeah.
dollars
I mean,
and kept the station afloat.
he's fucking Imus, of
So they
course.
hire Mike Francesa, who was basically a college basketball analyst for CBS and did different things for CBS. Chris Russo, who was a radio sports personality when radio sports personality weren't very a big deal. And they had some legendary sports figure who was afternoon drive time, who was getting older and sick and the whole deal. So both of them thought they were getting the afternoon drive time. And basically what the station did was, we're going to put you two together. You're our afternoon drive. You're Mike and the Mad Dog. Deal with it. And both of them was like, no, I'll do afternoon drive. Let him do midday, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So basically they said either you're going to do it or you're fired. And neither one of them leveraged at the time, and they hated each other, and it took a while to get through it. But anyway, it turned out to be the most legendary sports radio show in the world ever. It revolutionized sports radio. If you don't know about it, you're probably like, yeah, you're talking out of your ass. I'm really not. Like, it really is. You know how in Super Bowl week now you have Radio Row?
Yeah.
And everybody goes to the Super Bowl and they get all these interviews. They created that. They were the first guys ever to go to the Super Bowl. Like, they used to get the coaches, the offense coordinator, John Madden, would all, like, come live on their show. And then all these other stations were like, holy shit, we could do that. And they created Radio Row in the Super Bowl. They created, afternoon drive sports talk. They created 24-hour sports radio. And basically what happened was in 2008, Chris Russo, the Mad Dog, left FAN and started his own radio station on Sirius, which is obviously 24-hour sports radio station.
Yeah, it's Mad Dog Sports Radio, yeah.
Right. He does his show, but he also got other talent to do those shows. They're very national-wise. Mike Francesa, who was Mike from Mike and the Mad Dog, he still does his afternoon drive time, 1 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., afternoon drive radio sports show. But it's very New York sports based, you know, Yankees, Mets, Knicks, Rangers, Giants, Jets, blah, blah, blah. He still does national stuff, but it's, he sticks to what the New York fan wants.
Right.
And basically he's leaving FAN in December. So the whatever for Mike and the Mad Dog for FAN ends in December. And ESPN, I don't know if you know about the 30 for 30s they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a documentary series about different things in sports, and they touch on it. They touch on almost anything you could think of.
Yeah, they did one for NXT a couple years ago.
Right, and they've done wrestling. They've done they've done MMA.
They did the XFL one.
Football. They've done the XFL. It's a sports documentary series. They did one on Mike and the Mad Dog, which airs this week. Which will, if you don't know their story and you don't know anything about them, you might find it interesting if you like radio, because they're really pioneers in a lot of the things that radio hosts do, but they stayed away from being shock jocks.
That's good.
Which they did their thing, but they didn't do the total guy thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like Mike and Mike.
Yeah, right. They kept the sports.
I can't stand Mike and Mike half the time.
This is the thing. Because my father listened to them, I grew up listening to them.
Right.
I started listening to them in the middle 90s. They were probably together for like 7 years when I started listening to them. And then they simulcast on the Yes Network. When the Yes Network launched, went on DirecTV and everywhere else, Mike and the Mad Dog was their main programming other than the Yankees. Mm-hmm. And that they just blew up out of that. And up until like 2 years ago, Mike was still on the Yes Network. So because of their show and what they brought, they were on the air during 9/11.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot of things, but realistically, like I was saying, they, even though it's a sports show, they didn't go the shock jock route, the guy route, and they open up, even for me personally, they open up my avenue to probably why I look at sports in a way I do now, because you kind of you search out the history and you learn about the guys in the past and everything else. It's not just all about the present.
Well, also,
and that's the way they did their show.
From what I gather, from what you're saying, I take it these guys don't sugarcoat shit either.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, Joe, you would love their interview style.
Really?
When they have the Yankee manager on, whoever it was at the time, whether it was Torre, Girardi, now, different guys in the past, the Met manager. If things were going bad,
they'd tell them.
Oh yeah. I mean, Tom Coughlin, when he was coach of the Giants, he quit doing their show for the last couple of years because they didn't sugarcoat shit. When things weren't going well, they brought it up. But at the time, they had the power to do it. You know what I mean?
When does this air?
Say that again.
When does this 30 for 30 thing air? I might DVR it.
I think the initial airing is Thursday. This coming Thursday.
Is it on ESPN or ESPN2?
Probably 2, I would think, right? Let me look it up real quick. Somebody just sent me a link on Facebook.
But anyway, we're going to go ahead and close out the show. We can discuss this off air. We're going to go ahead and close out the show here, folks. Be sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You'll be alerted every time we go live. And we'll see you tomorrow night.